Artem, how you doing, my friend? And have you adjusted here to the time in the United States?
Yeah, I'm good, Brian. Thanks for having me on the show. Yeah, I haven't quite adjusted fully yet. I only got in here on Sunday, but I am in the process. That's why I got here so early. I wanted to adjust to the time difference.
So I see some brilliance to this call out, right? I always tell fighters that they should study the rankings, they should study the matchups, know who's available, make the UFC's job easy. And at times you can get higher ranked opponents and get great opportunities for yourself by telling them who you want to fight. And also with Cub coming off a war like he had with Doo Ho Choi, was part of the reasoning that you just feel after a fight like that he reduced his ability to take the kind of power you plan to bring next Saturday night?
Yeah, absolutely. Cub's been in many, many wars over the years, and he's been great to watch. But of course, it takes its toll. And after a fight like that, he's definitely did a lot of damage. And fighting a guy like me after that might not be the best idea. So when I saw that fight, I thought that's a great fight. He gets caught a lot. He's very wild, which makes for an entertaining fight. But I can see avenues there that I can explore, and I feel that I could knock him out. So I called for it, and here we are.
And initially, I thought that there was a lot of bad blood between you two. Obviously, you guys went back and forth on Twitter a little bit, and Cub, kind of goes back with Conor McGregor a little bit, where they were trash talking a little bit as well. But as I've really looked into this, it really turns out that you guys actually do have at least a professional level of respect for one another. And I want to play a clip. Cub Swanson was on the show just about 30 minutes ago. I want to play a clip so you could hear it of what Cub had to say about this matchup.
I'm training like this is the toughest fight of my life. At the end of the day, I'm training for 5.5s, which in itself is one of the hardest things to do, train for 5.5s. So, and I think he's the kind of guy that his record isn't the greatest, but he's also in the position of having two wins back-to-back in the UFC and being with a really great team and having the best training he's ever had. So I'm going to expect a better version of him than I've seen on tape. And the situation being the main event, being 5.5s, I have to expect that he's going to step it up. So all that being said, I cannot overlook this guy. I'm very confident in my ability. I trained hard, and I'll be ready.
Artem, there you hear it. That doesn't. I expected maybe some trash talk, things of that nature, but definitely a focused Cub Swanson. Your thoughts about what he said about the matchup?
Yeah, I agree. And when you say, trash talk, that's never really been my thing, trash talk. I guess when people, look at Conor, sometimes they mistake it and they say, oh, you just have to trash talk and that will get you things. But the message is, when you look at Conor, it's being yourself. Conor is just being yourself. He says what he truly believes in, and that's what I do as well. I'm not just going to go out of my way and just put somebody down or trash talk or say something that I don't believe in. Everything that I say is most likely, backed up by facts, and this is what I believe in. But coming back to your question, yeah, he's right. That's one of the things that kind of helped me get a lot of things in the UFC, and I'm not going to deny it, is the fact that I was Conor McGregor's training partner, because, I'm his training partner, and that raises curiosity. People wonder, how come Conor is able to destroy the best guys in the world in seconds? And this guy, Artem, he's been with him for many, many years, and he's sparring him day in and day out, and he's still there, and he looks just fine. If Conor is doing that to the best guys in the world, and Artem is there, what can Artem do to the best guys in the world? Well, let's see. You have to wonder no more. Saturday, April 22nd, we get to find out.
And your camp does a lot of things very specific. There's a lot of science. There's a lot of method to everything you do. What are some of the specific things you've done this camp to bring guys in or mimic Cub and give yourself the best looks, that when that first bell rings, you get your timing right away?
Yeah, there was a lot of things. Cub is very wild. He switches stances. He's quite unorthodox. He keeps high tempo. So my main thing was, I was getting ready for a 20-round war. That's what I'm ready for. of course, I had specific training partners, both southpaws and orthodox, and guys that can switch. I did a lot of, wrestling training. I did a lot of jiu-jitsu training. I'm just ready for everything. This fight, I feel I have to win it everywhere. I can't just go out there and solely look for a knockout. If he comes into a clinch, I'm going for a takedown. If it goes to the floor, I'm going to look for submissions. I'm going to make him work just as much as he's going to make me work. And I think the rest will take care of itself.
And going back to a little bit of your history, getting to know you, and like I said, the first time we talked, you telling me, look, I game plan, whatever, man. I go out there to throw. I'm a fighter first before you're a martial artist. I'm looking at your bio, and I see you've got a bachelor's in business and a master's in finance. I can't imagine being someone who works at a bank and having a cubicle or a desk or an office next to you. What was the banker, Artem Lobov, like, and how well did you fit in that environment?
Quite well. I've done all kinds of jobs in my life. I washed dishes in a restaurant. Then I was actually even a tandoori chef in an Indian restaurant. I worked in the bar. I set up my own business before. I did all kinds of things. My goal in life was always to make it, because I always felt that a lot of people depended on me to make it. I really want to make it for my family. I want to, give my mother, my father, my sister, and everyone around me a good life. So that was always, my main goal. And I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do, but I knew I could not stop. I could not give up. I just had to push forward everywhere and anywhere. And then once I kind of saw a more clear avenue, which was MMA, well, then I left everything else behind and I concentrated all my attention on this. But to be honest, when I worked in the bank, I didn't really talk much about my fighting. A lot of people didn't even really know what I do, or on what level I do that. Obviously, now that I left the bank, I get a lot of them contacting me and saying, "Oh, that's great. We didn't even realize that you did this at such high level." But at the time, I just kind of kept to myself mostly and just did my thing. Bank was one job, and then fighting was a different thing. So.
It's an incredible story, though, and I say this to a lot of people in America, that some of the hardest workers I know are first-generation Americans, because they appreciate all the opportunity they have here. Knowing a little bit about your story certainly is filled with overcoming adversity, traveling around, trying to find your way in different countries. Obviously, you've taken advantage of every single opportunity that's come your way, from education to work to now your fight career, and now you're obviously presented with the biggest opportunity you've ever had in fighting. You've got a track record of surprising people and taking advantage of those opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only did I take advantage of all those opportunities, I have created those opportunities for myself. I got the education, I had to pay for it. So, I worked my ass off while in school already. I washed dishes, I worked the weekends, I worked nights, so I would be able to pay for my education. Then I had to work, all the way in college. The same in MMA, how did I become Conor McGregor's sparring partner? People often say that, but do you see anybody else that's his sparring partner? No, there is only me, because guess what? What you see on TV, him knocking guys out, well, that's exactly how it is. It's not easy sparring Conor McGregor. And what happened was he always wanted to spar, and not many people put their hands up. More often than not, no one put their hands up. But I was always there, day after day, no matter how sore I was, no matter how badly I got hurt, I came back for more and more and more. And eventually, there was no one else left. There was just me. So when Conor needed somebody to go corner him, when he needed somebody to go warm him up, there was no one else left. There was just me. I was the only one that survived because I was the toughest. I wanted it more than anyone else wanted it. And this is why I'm here now. This is why this opportunity is in front of me. And again, getting the main event, a lot of people said it like, oh, why did he get the main event? Well, guess what? I always show up. When you book Artem Lobov to fight, he's going to be there. All the promotion that we do, it's not just going to go to waste. I will be there. My word is like a diamond. It's unbreakable. If I say I'm going to be there, I will be there. If I'm not there, I am dead.
And there's no doubt about that. And I saw an interview you did where you wanted this fight after watching the Doo Ho Choi fight and seeing how awesome a performance it was. You've dreamed about your opportunity to be in something similar. I mean, mentally, you're not thinking like you're going to walk in there and knock them out. If it happens, you'll certainly take it. But mentally, you're preparing for this to be 25 minutes of just knockdown, drag out, exhausted, finding a way to win, much much like your life has been, where really nothing has come easy.
Absolutely. I always say, I never quit. I've never tapped in a fight. I've been choked out a few times, but no man can say that he made me tap. Nobody in life. I always say that as long as my heart is beating, I ain't quitting. So, I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be a big fight for me. It's going to be a hard fight, but this is the kind of fight that I can definitely win, and this is the kind of fight, like you said, my life has been a fight like that. So, I have a lot of experience dealing with fights just like that.
Well, I'll tell you, Artem, you've got a personal story that's very inspiring, and nobody can count you out in any fight you're in, man. Congratulations on this opportunity. Thank you so much for taking some time. I know you're still adjusting to the time here. I really appreciate you taking some time to talk to us about your fight. We'll be looking forward to it. 2 weeks. I'll be there in Nashville. Honored to call it as always, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.